All right, everybody, welcome to another HWR. This time it's a Saturday, beautiful Saturday here in where I live. I was gonna say where I live, but nobody cares. We are here live, HWR Four Corner Rant Saturday Nights edition. And if you're not familiar with the 6:05 time, that is a tribute, a nod to the old Turner Broadcasting Network. When they used to house the NWA Wrestling, they used to be TBS at 6:05. For everybody that used to watch that. Hi again, everybody. And we are live here. First of all, let me introduce the Hardcore Crew because we got a lot to talk about. I am the host of HWR Four Corner Rants. I am Joseph Scoldren Knight, and I run Scoldren's Realm. Let's go over to the incomparable one, Lance Moss. Lance, welcome. It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night. Well, here's Saturday afternoon, but let's have some fun.
Absolutely. I was going to say Saturday afternoon too, but anyway, we're going to move on. She is the Vicious Vixen from Kentucky's Own Wrestling. She is our one and only Zoe Nightshade. She is at a show right now, so if everybody hears background noise, is that she's beating up on people for their lunch money.
Hey everybody, how's it going? KZW is going to be live in effect in Shottville, Kentucky tonight at 7:30. If you ain't got nothing to do, come down and see us.
There you go. And he is the hardcore host. He is the owner of HWR, the CEO, CEOL. He is Rick Head. Rick, welcome. Yeah. He's got a lot
Deep thought.
Deep thought, exactly.
Touching sentiment.
Hello, my beloved Lita.
Must be that damn mic again.
Yeah.
Get a new mic.
Instead of buy the shirt, buy the mic.
Buy the mic.
All right, so we're gonna skip Rick right now. We're gonna go over. He is the IPTV guy, but he is the Uber of Westchester.
That's right.
He is Johnny Perez. Johnny, Saturday 6:05.
Oh man, 605 brings back so many memories. WCW 605 TBS, but now it is Saturday night's Four Corner Rant. Saturday 605, we're gonna be doing some damage. And I tell you what, Joe, you see that belt you got up on the screen looks a lot better than that crap that Kentucky Fried Wrestling has. I'll tell you right now.
Ouch. Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Now we can hear. He is.
All right.
There he is.
It was kind of weird lately. I got this new wireless headset. It's pretty cool, but I think I didn't charge it last night, so every now and then it kind of like bleeps out. But you know what? Always a pleasure to be on Hardcore Wrestling Radio's Four Corner Rants, and we got a lot of shit to talk about.
First of all, you know what? I'm going to jump on rumors really quick. And Rick, I did not know this, but the website has said, PWI Insider has said that the promotion MLW has signed Brian Pillman Jr. to a long-term deal. Now, I did not know Brian Pillman. I knew he had family and he had children, but I did not know that he had a son that was in professional wrestling.
Well, I had no clue either. But, you know, there's a lot of family members, wrestlers who have second or third generation wrestlers that never really made it to the top. Chris Benoit's first born son, I forget his name, forgive me, he was in wrestling. And from what I understood, he was very talented. But again, because unfortunately of Benoit's, shaded, questionable passing, I don't think WWE kind of ever really wanted to give him the nod.
Yeah, and I am actually getting the guy's info right now, and I'm gonna put up his picture in a moment so everybody could see. Again, this is Brian Pillman, the loose cannon himself. He had a son, and I gotta say one thing. I'm gonna put up his picture also along with his father, Brian Pillman. and we can go into, we can talk real quick on this. But let me put that picture up, and so everybody can see. You guys can see. Can you guys see what's going on in our page right here? Hold on. Let me turn on the camera. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum 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 dum. Okay, it doesn't sound good. You guys will be able to see it on the HWR stream. Let me put that picture up. While I do that, let me say hello to George in the HWR show on YouTube. Hey, George, it's good to see you again. Thanks for popping in here. Get him to buy the shirt, Lance.
Hey. Buy the shirt, and congratulations on finishing a triathlon this morning.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, wow, cool. Congratulations. And George, again, welcome, thank you. And that's over at our HWR YouTube page.
Now, if you guys...
Why does he look like someone who belongs in the Hart family?
Well, Brian Pillman was close to the Harts themselves. So, yeah. But that's an old picture. Now, that was an old picture of the son standing with almost similar outfit to Brian Pillman. Now let me show you.
He looks like he could be fronting some rock band nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. The kid is well built, from what I understand. He is, he is up there. So let me see if I can get the other picture. And let me see if I can get this image.
Well, while you're looking for that up, Joe, I think we could all agree, again, as I said before, there's a lot of other wrestlers or families of even legendary wrestlers who want to come in, but for one reason or another just didn't make it to the WWE. Case in point, Mick Foley, his daughter, Noelle Foley's been, training for years. Even though she's on the WWE Network, Holy Foley, with every now and then, or pretty much a co-host, you're not seeing her in wrestling, and you got to wonder whether it's Mick, saying, hey, look, you've been in the business, you don't want to get injured like I have, or maybe WWE doesn't seem to think she cuts it. What do you think, John?
I think she should do porn.
Mick,
Lord.
baby girl.
I don't think they would put that on the network, though.
It's all right. I think you're right. First of all, when you looked at her, she really doesn't have what it takes to be in professional wrestling. She really doesn't. So yes, she's tall. She's okay. She has a body on her, but her personality is not of a wrestler. I'm sorry, it's really not. So I wouldn't see her going far in the business, period, if she did get in.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Lance, again, your thoughts. A lot of other wrestlers, aside from the ones we just mentioned, never really, got there. I mean, we could use one example, which was Davey Boy Smith Jr. He was in there for a very short stint, but just, really couldn't cut the mustard.
Well, what happened there, I believe, was WWE throttled his moveset so far back, he basically had no movesets left. So basically, he just said, screw this, I'll go to New Japan and stuff like that and make money there, and they'll let me do where the hell I want. Because I believe he still works in New Japan. I've seen him working for Hannah, Northern.
All right, guys. If you look at the stream right now, that is a picture of Brian Pillman Jr. currently.
Yeah.
Wow. He looks like a retro '80s guy. He's got the '80s mullet and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's trying to cash in on how his father used to look.
Well, as we hear Kayla's background noise.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm going to take this off the screen, but that is Brian Pillman Jr. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, like I said, this is not the first time we've seen, wrestlers who have just couldn't make it, or their kids for whatever who want to be in the business, but they only stayed in the indies or, couldn't even make it there. But let's move along, Joe. Randy Orton apparently likes to play pranks with new WWE writers.
Who? They should be pranked. They should be pranked.
Yeah, I'm with Joe on this one.
They should be pranked. They should be ripped. They should be run out of the country.
Tarred and feathered.
That too. Pulled in the middle of Chicago and let loose to see how many times they get shot.
Drawn and quartered.
This was posted by Zoe Nightshade over on our HWR chat room, but here it is, guys. A recent interview with MLW, former WWE writer Court Bayer told a story about how Randy Orton used to show his junk off to new writers before touching it and asking him to shake his hand. And I quote, "For every writer that would just show up, he would come to the room, put his hands down his pants, pull out his dick, touch himself, and say, 'Hi, I'm Randy Orton. Shake my hand.' Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? Are you big leaguing me? That's fucked up, man. Maybe I should tell Vince and Stephanie that you don't want to shake my hand." Guys, I don't think this was recently. I think this was like way back. What now? WWE has zero tolerance policies. Yeah. But Johnny, that's kind of a rib. And back then, if you were a mid guy, you could fuck with anybody.
Let me tell you something, man. I think that's one of the best ribs I've ever heard in my life. If you got the junk, you want to show it, go right ahead, man. You want to shake my hand, you don't want to do it, I'll tell the boss. That's a great rib. I love it. Yeah. I love it. I would have done the same damn thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I'm your boss.
Joe, watch it.
Let me tell you, I think I would have stroked it, scratched my asshole, and then said shake my hand after I took a dump.
and
that's fucking great.
Leave a little
Now he would have done that to other bosses, not to me.
Well, not to you, but I would have done it to the writers. Absolutely.
Lance, your thought on this Randy Orton's original prank?
Well, I mean, I'll put it like this. Nowadays, he's leaving himself wide open to be caught up in the Me Too movement. Oh, he sexually harassed me. He pulled his junk out.
You even look at somebody the wrong way now in WWE and you're fired.
Yeah. Well, then again, we're also talking about the guy who can get like 15 different wellness violations and not get his ass fired.
Well, as I said before earlier, and is that he's a made guy.
Yeah.
And I think, Joey, you would agree, despite whatever policies they have, there are certain wrestlers that have those special abilities that can, pretty much get away with just about anything.
Cena. Sorry, damn allergies.
I was about to say the same thing, Lance. Cena. It's to be, when it concerns Randy Orton, he's the most successful out of the Orton family. His father was Cowboy Bob Orton. His uncle was Barry Orton, who was known as Barry O back in the 80s. There was Cowboy Bob Sr., but he is the most, the best skilled, taking nothing away from Bob Orton Jr., but Randy Orton has surpassed that, and he is a commodity. No matter what, no matter how well, how he rips people, how he does this, Randy Orton is money. And let me just put it like this. The man is worth everything there because he can go either way. He can go babyface, he can go heel. And Vince does not want to lose such a high-profile guy to any rival company. So, I think it's good. Because one, if he did that and the writer didn't shake his hand, then the writer should not be in professional wrestling. And I'm sorry, sports entertainment, professional wrestling, it is what it is. But if you're in this industry and you're not gonna shake a person's hand, knowing that these are wrestlers, these are not. It's just like football players, just like baseball players, just like any professional athlete. If you know you're gonna work with them, they're gonna do shit to you, and if you can't take it, then you shouldn't be in this industry.
And Miss Zoe, over to you and your thoughts about Randy Orton. I'm sure if what would you think? What would you say to him if he whipped out his junk and shook it and then they asked you to shake his hand?
Personally, me, like, if he did that, I would more than likely maybe shake his hand, like, through my shirt. You know what I mean? Or if he wanted to do that whole, oh, you're going to shake my hand or I'm going to tell Vince, blah, 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 I'd probably look at him and be like, well, Vince will shake your dick.
You should put out a magnifying glass.
No, and it wouldn't be Vince. It would be Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to go that route, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Hold on.
truth.
Well, and either that or
Yeah.
Zoe wouldn't just shake his hand. She'll slap the little tidbit out of his hand. Are you
I
gonna?
look at him and be
She
like,
says,
put
what?
your tiny little rat snake away, sweetie.
Just start
Oh, is that
Just
your little
start
viper?
sweating.
Is that the little viper you
Yeah.
have there?
And that would be funny. What would happen if Rhino looked at it and just started laughing and, Jesus Christ, no wonder you can't keep a wife. And just started laughing at it. Could you imagine that, the response?
Yeah, go RKO yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move along, guys.
You guys are so mean.
Wait a minute.
What
Now that
hell
we got
started
Johnny,
this?
now that we got Johnny here, we got to get this out of the way. Hey Zoe,
Oh, God,
The
yes, I knew it was coming.
the fluffy. No, tell
Thank
him.
God none of the dudes are back here right now, so I'll go
Let's
ahead and
do
do
it.
it before anybody
Do
comes back
it.
here.
No. She has a
Do it.
different saying. She has a different saying for you. You have to approve.
What
you
thing
can
am I
approve or
doing
disapprove.
tonight?
Remember that you're not fat. You're fluffy.
Oh, okay, I'll do both of them. How's that?
There you go.
I'm not fat, I'm fluffy. And he is the Uba of Westchester.
Yeah.
Goddamn woodpeckers! Somebody get them out of this place. My studio must have woodpeckers because I keep hearing kadoosh.
Oh, God. Like I said, I'm glad half the guys went back here. And they'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, if they're listening,
It's like it turned into a sex chat back here.
you know it's funny. It's like during the show they says, you can see Carnage in the ring with her, and they're getting ready for a fight. They say, wait a minute. Zoe, go ahead and say it. Say what? Say what you always say in the radio. The Uber of Westchester.
Westchester.
And all those guys in the locker room will give you a little bit of a salute, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they would. I don't think the women would like it too much, though. I'm not about to get my ass beat down by a bunch of chicks.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Now that we got the woodpeckers out of the way, out of the way. Rick, before you go into the next thing about Randy Orton, or to the next topic, there's word according to the Observer, that the whole Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss match at SummerSlam is going to be scripted completely, move
And this shocks
by
you?
move, at the Performance Center beforehand. It's like, hopefully they take the whole Macho Man playbook, because remember, Macho Man Randy Savage used to do that. He used to, write everything down with his opponent and say, okay, we're doing A plus B plus C, then D, then E, God forbid, little Miss Bliss, my personal favorite, I don't need her getting injured because, overgrown Shirley Temple is trying to, kill people. I almost felt bad for Alicia Fox that when I saw her wrestle. I'm like, God, that girl's arm just probably got yanked out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Take her off TV for a while.
Yeah, those hammer locks that she was throwing, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, those are judo throws.
Oh.
Those
They
are-
looked almost like a hammer lock.
No, it's an arm drag, but what it is, it's a judo. I forgot now the term. It's a judo lock where you just throw someone over by grabbing their arm. But in a judo lock, because let's face it, we're making fun of Ronda Rousey, but she is a judo expert. That judo toss, if done to somebody who's not trained for that, can literally, you can pull your arm out of the socket. And she didn't do it once. I think she did it 2 more times. And you could tell Alicia Fox's face, like, what the fuck did I get into? I'm sorry, whoever I fucked over. I will bend over and touch my toes, so I don't have to do this ever again.
Yeah, and
Dude,
actually,
she more or less looked pissed off, actually, because I saw a few times where Ronda stiffed her, and she was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
No, just tell her to shake Randy Orton's hand and all's forgiven.
Yeah,
Pat Patterson, I will shake his hand and other things for him.
yeah. But as far as Ronda Rousey goes, yeah, scripted move for move, that's exactly what needs to happen. They need to hold her hand, because I'm sorry, she is not a wrestler. She's trying to bring her MMA skills into wrestling. We've seen it like at least 3 or 4 times in the past, especially mostly during the Attitude Era, and it just does not work. And she's a flash in the pan. By this time next year, if she's not working full matches, or like a full year, then,
Get rid of her.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Again, we've seen MMA stars transcend to professional wrestlers. Ken Shamrock, Matt Riddle. What was the NWA champion? I can't remember.
Dan Severn. Dan Severn.
Yeah, Dan Severn. You know, Brock
Severn was a
Lesnar.
professional wrestler anyway.
Yes,
Before he went to MMA.
Yeah, same thing with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was a 2-time NCAA pro wrestling, you know, like the shoot wrestling. So those two are an exception to the rule. Ronda Rousey's never really wrestled. She's a wrestling mark. She's sitting there, every time she comes out, she has this big smile like, yay, I get to be a wrestler now. And it's
And
like,
see, that's what really pisses me off about Ronda Rousey. She's supposed to be the baddest woman in the world, but she's coming out there, all smiles and shit. If she came out to the ring and I was standing there with her reputation, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to beat the shit into this girl.
Well, let's not forget one of the wrestlers who did become an MMA fighter who actually sucks at that. That's CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He stinks. He lost both his matches.
Yeah. And the last one, again, everybody was embarrassed because I forget what his name was or who it was like Mike Johnson, I think. And yeah, it was true. Mike the Truth Jackson. Long story short, everybody was pissed because he just didn't take him out right away. And all it really showed is just as I look, I'm just playing, I'm hitting this guy with a little light punches, walking around strutting, doing taunts, and the guy couldn't take me down. And that proved right there. Doesn't belong there.
And in all honesty, when you look at there goes somebody's dinner bell. When you look at stuff like that, that's, again, it's put it like this, it's harder. It's hard when you're a professional athlete, to get into wrestling. And that's without any background. If you go in just like all of us did back in the day, it's a totally different story, because you're going from scratch. When you're in a professional business, like out of professional wrestling, you really got to change. You got to go with the flow. So, like athletes, like when guys come from the football league, they make that jump, or in basketball or anybody, when they do that jump, it's never easy to transcend from a full contact sport. Not taking nothing away from wrestling, because it is a contact sport, but you're kind of going into a little bit, okay, I got to hold my punches back. So it's kind of crazy. All right, Rick, we're moving on to the next topic. And I'm going to let you take it because it involves certain illegals. Yeah. Right, Lance?
I just know where this is going.
Those illegals must really piss him off because he's not saying a word.
Exactly. Call ICE. They're in the building.
Hey, have them send Zelina Vega.
All right.
She's the definition of ring rat. That's what you call.
Hey, I'll take a ring rat.
Yeah, yeah.
It look like that.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna before you start, Rick. I'm gonna tell you this. Yeah, I gotta say one thing. Yeah, it's what's really bad is that CN Almas, what Andrea, whatever his fucking name is. Every time I see him, and it's nothing to do with the character, it's nothing to do with like kayfabe or anything like that. He just got that face. If I see him in the street, I'll punch him dead in his face. He just has that face that you just want to beat the piss out of. And then throw him, toss him back over the border. Learn fucking English, you fucking idiot. Thank you.
Well, okay, I think that's taking a little too far on that end. But again, like I said, he does have that kind of like, you don't want to fuck with me face. And I think that's why it makes him a great heel. They try to make him as a baby face down at NXT, and he would come out with like white pants with like, not spandex, but with like a little hat, and he would come dancing down like No Way Jose, and it just didn't fly. When they made him this badass, and they had Zelina Vega, which we're trying to get to, that really what pushed him over. But the background story with Zelina Vega, she was at NXT under the name Rosita, and that was back in 2012, where she started a relationship with Austin Aries. That relationship was over 5 years. Eventually, they had some kind of a falling out, and Zelina, Austin Aries said one time in an interview that it was an amicable breakup, and they were good friends, and yada yada yada. Well, Vega turned around and made it clear, and she said that they are not, we're never married, we're never engaged to be married, and she has broken all contact and wants nothing to do with it, nothing to do with them at all. So something along the line in that relationship happened that did not work. Something behind the scenes, because even for the years they were together, a lot of people on the wrestling industry, in and out, and just wrestling fans had no clue they were together.
Hey, and you know what? I'm going to jump in real quick, and then Rick, you can pass it around to the guys. Basically, she was like the definition of a ring rat. She hooked up with the right person, and she went around, and but I gotta give them credit. They kept it private. Most people go out there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm dating such and such," or "Let's go take some new pictures," like Nikki Bella and John Cena did. Let's do this. Let's do that. No, they kept it private. They kept their relationship on low key. Because obviously they didn't want nobody to say, "Oh, that's why she's getting a push," because she is with Austin Aries. Unfortunately, not like freaking like Nikki Bella or Brie Bella, who used their relationship to get high profile matches. But I give her that. I give them both that. But I don't know. She's still a ring rat. Let's punch her Andreas just to get that out of the way.
Okay. Johnny, again, we have a wrestler, a relationship where they split up for whatever reason, and again, they kind of kept that relationship on the down low, and she really made it adamant, clear that she wants nothing to do with them.
Yeah, she's pissed off. She's pissed off.
Yeah.
She wants him back. He doesn't want to be with her. She's pissed off. That's why she's saying that.
All right. Again, like I said, I never really looked at it that way. As far as like why she was pissed off, but that could have been the case.
The guy's a super. Yeah, she again a ring rat. She went with the right people, whatever, yada yada yada. But let's face it, without him, where's she's really gonna go?
Well, believe it or not, I think she's doing better because he's back down at Impact Wrestling. He's the Impact Wrestling champion, but he took a step back, and she's now, on the main roster with Cien Almas. You know,
Oh,
so
well, look at that.
Get
So
get nice cold
yeah.
on them.
I'm telling you, man. I'm guessing, spreading it really helps out.
yeah. Actually, and again, I want to bring this over because Zoe brought this up, and it's very similar. Where Becky Lynch said she would not want to date anybody in the industry, or especially at the workplace, because she wants that part of her life private.
And that's smart. That's very smart.
It is, and I give her props for using her head like that. You know what I mean? A ring rat does not have any business being in the building because that's what they're going to be seen as. Even if they go on to be great, I mean, still, you're a ring rat. So Becky Lynch doesn't want to look like a ring rat. Thank God.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to toss it over to Lance. You know, when we talk about ring rats, you know, the greatest ring rats are the Bellas. You know, we look at several others who get their start. You know, when you see them, they get their start, and they're not too good. You know, then they hook up with somebody. All of a sudden, they're wrestling like, you know, like Wendy Richter and the Fabulous Moolah. You know, so I am looking at it like, you know, do you think that this, you know, she's going to continue to, Selena, we're talking about Selena here, she's going to continue to, you know, downplay other relationships, or because Aries is gone, she's bringing this out now, because nobody knew until they actually separated. So I'm guessing, do you think this is something that she's going to use against Aries, or?
Well, I mean, granted, we forgot the biggest ring rat in history, or at least the hoiest ring rat in history, Sunny. And in regards to Zelina, whether she's going to use this against her or not, I think she's going to keep her shit quiet if she can, because this bit came up and bit her and Aries now. This ain't good publicity, so they'll probably keep that shit private.
Yeah, again, when she took to Twitter, she made it very clear, I'm going to say this once. We are not together. We haven't been for a long time. And I don't want to wish to be associated with them. So that's not even like she wants to rip him. She's like, leave me alone. I'm walking away. I want nothing to do with you for whatever reason.
Sound like he got some on the side.
Well, possibly. And that's possible true. But, you know, Joe, you were talking about how wrestlers, ring rats, as you would want to call them, sleep their way to the top. Becky Lynch seems to always get the short end of the stick. She gets a push, but that gets knocked back down. Do you think it's maybe because she hasn't hooked up with the right person inside wrestling, and maybe she wants to think she can do it on her own?
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I like Becky Lynch. I think her time is coming, and we will see at SummerSlam when she takes on Carmella and Charlotte. I think this is going to be her time again. And the problem with Becky Lynch is she reminds me a lot of those 80s women wrestlers who are good, but they're not championship material good. And Johnny could back me up on this. Sometimes when you have a worker who's good in the ring, but she's better off, or he's better off as the chaser, not the chasee. You know, they're better off pursuing the title than being the champion. And I think
absolutely.
Yeah, you know, and the most famous guys, you know, who we could say was Junkyard Dog, and there's several others who were the chasers.
Wait a second. You also got Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper chased that world title for a while, and so did Paul Orndorff.
Absolutely. You know, sometime in Becky Lynch's case, I think she keeps getting better and better. You know, she's not much of a promo person because her accent gets in the way. It's a very sexy accent. She's a very lovely woman. I wouldn't mind pulling those colorful panties down and seeing that pure white butt, but
I'd give Betty plenty.
And that perfect red hair.
I don't know. She doesn't have the red hair. Now we all gonna be talking Scottish.
Orange, but yeah.
Yeah. That's not her natural hair color.
Yeah, that's
shit.
Yeah, that's not her natural hair color, Lottie.
And the skin and that tan skin. Oh my God, it's like so bad. Because they actually, I saw a picture of her like behind the scenes while she's like off the card, and she's very attractive. She does have lighter skin, and
She
but
does-
why WWE assumes to make her look like an Oompa Loompa is beyond me.
Yeah, Rick, she does the spray tan, correct? That's what it is, right?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
It looks like a spray tan.
It does not look like a natural tan or even a professional tanning salon. It looks like, yeah, they just said, okay, drop them, we'll just hit with a spray, you know.
Yeah, well, there are sprays you can buy over the counter which are tan sprays. So, hey, she's getting her engines worked over the captain.
Hey,
So anyway, I'm gonna let Johnny take over now, but because I gotta learn how to stop speaking Scottish now. But again, we've seen Becky Lynch is very talented. I think when she gets to the point that she's gonna start dominating and start winning, I think they pull her back because, again, she's better the chaser than being the champion. Go ahead, Johnny.
You know what? I can agree. Sometimes you'll make more money chasing the title than if you are the champ. You get more publicity. People want to see it more. I feel like like I said, Paul Orndorff, Rowdy Piper, Junkyard Dog,
Bundy.
who else? King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
These guys chased that title, but they made so much money chasing that title. They probably made it better than if they were the champ, and
Well,
it
if
made
I
it very
could-
interesting.
If I can interject for 1 second, now you mentioned all those names. Again, all should be justified. Paul Orndorff, Randy Orton, Roddy Piper, and several other of those guys. But keep in mind, at the time, Vince only wanted one top guy, and unfortunately, Hulk Hogan had that spot, and a lot of people really lost that opportunity.
Well, you know what? It's still and I think Johnny, you can agree with me on this. When your talent pool is very, like with the WWE right now, it's very limited due to the brand split. You're in that position that, especially when it concerns like somebody as popular as Becky Lynch, it's just same thing with the huggable one, whatever her fucking name is.
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey.
Don't be a hero.
Bailey.
But
I'm sorry, I cannot stand Bailey. I'm just gonna say it.
there you go. Yeah, Zoe doesn't want to hug her; she wants to punch her.
Exactly.
You know what? Let's. Go
I want to stick it.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can stick it to the girl from the Jets. Let's go to Zoe since she's the resident woman talent here. What do you think of the whole Becky Lynch situation?
The whole Becky Lynch situation, as far as not wanting to date while in the company, is a great idea. She's playing it smart. But now, as far as, her wrestling career, I mean, this girl has all the talent, that you could ask for. She's professional. She takes everything seriously in the ring. She sells like crazy. And honestly, right now, I would not mind seeing her as a champion again very soon.
All right, Rick, let's go back to you. What? Yeah.
And all right, I kind of lost the plot there for a second. I was a little away from the computer at the moment, and I know we were still talking about
Ring rats.
ring rats, and I remember her. Zoe saying she did not really like Bailey. She wanted to punch her and this and that. But let's move along real quick because we now have another woman. It seems to be the ladies' night tonight. A Mae Young wrestler is injured. On the second night of the Mae Young Classic tapings, Tegan Knox was injured her left leg. According to WWE.com, she injured her leg while doing a dive to the outside. Knox was unable to get up on her own, and the ref threw up the notorious X sign. Due to her injury, she was pulled from the female tournament. This is her second injury, and her first injury, ironically, happened at the inaugural Mae Young Classic, which she tore her ACL. Joe, some women or some people are just not fit to wrestle regardless, how athletic they may be.
No, you know what it is, Rick? It's, again, and I'm going to throw this to Johnny after me, but it's when they hot shot. When they do stuff that they're not ready for, they're going to get injured. Yeah, I bet you if she did like a mat technician work where she stood in the ring, did what she had to, play it easy, get in there, I think maybe it will be a different story. But I'm going to say this, Rick, is this actual a legit injury? Even though we've all known the ref can throw up his hands and freaking
no, WWE announced it.
Okay, because I was going to say it could have been a kayfabe injury, but again, we're looking at a situation that, you know, this is her second time. She should be out of the business, because if you're, maybe she's, I don't know, Johnny, maybe she's stage fright at this point in her career, and she's getting hurt.
Accident prone. Get her out of the ring. Put her as a referee, ring announcer or something. Just get her out the ring. She's gonna keep getting injured like that. It's not gonna be worth it, because she's gonna be out more than she is in the ring.
You mean like a certain Jesse Brooks?
Like a certain Jesse Brooks, correct. You know, you do one match, you get injured. You come back, you do another match, you get injured again. Don't need you. Get out. Goodbye.
And Lance, over to you. You know, she's still like in production. You know, like, you know, in the early stage of the WWE, where they were trying to give her shots. First time you get injured, it happens to everybody, and then the second time you're in, you get injured again. When do you say, okay, fine, time to move on, or try something else?
One, I would not have her back just for her personal safety for the Mae Young 3. Because that's not a good event for her. She keeps fucking up. Maybe she needs to go back and do a bunch of retooling and get some refresher courses under her belt. Then get back in the ring when she knows what the fuck she's doing.
But,
well,
you know, I'm sorry.
Ahead,
I wanted to say this. I wanted to ask this of the panel here. You know, maybe it has to be stage fright. Maybe being in the higher tier. You know, you're in the WWE, regardless if it's NXT, the Mae Young Classic, or whatever, or even a WWE house show. It's the symbol. It's the initials, WWE. Maybe in her thing, she gets a little scared. When you go from maybe 50 to 200 people in an indie show to about 20,000 or more, the butterflies are in your stomach. So maybe she just chokes. Maybe
another
she chokes.
thing, Joe. Another thing is that maybe she's trying too hard to impress.
Absolutely.
And what's going to happen if she ever makes it to Mania? She's going to break her fucking neck?
No shit. The granddaddy of them all, where
she breaks her fucking neck.
All right,
you know what? She'll do the best. She'll die in the ring.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead. Let's ask Zoe her opinion
down
on this. Zoe, you've been in the ring, you know, and is it, you know, sometimes, and it happens to all of us who's been in the business, you do get your stage fright. Could you think that could be the reason she gets injured?
I think that plays into it a lot. I mean, I still get, I don't know if you guys can hear me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do still get scared whenever the music hits and me and my boys are getting ready to walk out to the ring. I got, you know, nervous whenever I was a referee even. But I mean, the thing is once you get in there and that bell rings, you need to separate that. You need to make sure that you and your opponent are safe.
Absolutely. You know, so I think maybe Rick, she gets stage fright. So I think maybe this is the end of her main roster, or you know, WWE tryout, because she could probably, who knows, she could go back to the Indies and probably be 100%.
Well, she had worked in the Indies, so this is like, you know, she wasn't like a cookie cutter, but she was all good. And like you said, stage fright is a factor. Now, you look at AJ Styles. I don't know if you guys remember when he debuted on, I think it was 2016 Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a professional. He's wrestled all around the world. And when he came out and he got the huge pop, he's like looking around like, holy shit, I'm here. You know? I mean, he definitely, he had that moment of pause where he's just kind of like walking around, and then he just said, okay, put your game face on. You're AJ Styles. Time to wrestle. Trying to show everybody what you got. And some people, unfortunately, like you said, maybe they just can't handle that kind of that level. You know, they think if you're in the WWE, it might not be that. It might be the fact that, hey, I'm a wrestler, I'm in the WWE, I can do whatever I want. and try to show people up, and it just, falls hard.
Well, you know what? I gotta say this with the concept of AJ Styles. Here's a guy that still, even before WWE, he was drawing big numbers at shows. Not necessarily TNA, but with New Japan, he was pulling in those numbers. And if you can win the Japanese over when they hear you applaud you, that's something. But yes, walking out, I bet you he felt the butterflies when he saw the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people in a fully packed arena and say, holy shit, this is how TNA should have been. And you bat down. He probably soaked that all in and then say, okay, you know what, switch to professional mode, let's go to the moment in the ring. So
yeah, well, I think, like I said, when he was over at TNA, he was definitely the main face of the company, and unfortunately, Dixie Carter, Jeff Jarrett, whoever, just didn't see that picture. And when he went over, even to over in the British, when they were doing the implosion, or when they were doing the run over in the UK, that place was full. There would be like up to like 10 to 15,000 people, and they were chanting AJ Styles. But again, we digress and we kind of go off the subject.
We always do that. That's part of what. That's what makes Four
wrestling with
Corners
digression.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, when do we ever
today.
stay on subject?
Exactly. So, I think again, it could have been a lot of different factors. Maybe she just we've talked about as far as whether she's just kind of got the stage fright, or she just kind of has that maybe ego issue, or just doesn't have the proper training. But let's move along, guys. Colt Cabana and CM Punk are now suing each other. Colt Cabana is suing his now former friend CM Punk. As you guys, this is for the legal fees. As you guys remember, both of these guys just got through a really heated battle with WWE's training facility. When after Punk left, when he went out to Colt Cabana's podcast, and they were pretty much just slamming WWE medical facilities. And long story short, CM Punk made a promise, according to Colt Cabana. CM Punk said he would cover the legal fees, which was just over $500,000. And apparently he decided to, for one reason or another, say, nope, sorry, I'm not going to cover it. I got my half, you cover your half. And these guys were close. I mean, even through the indies, even when CM Punk made it to the very top, all he ever said was, Colt Cabana, my best friend. So, Joe, you got to wonder when business and friendship kind of crosses over.
You know what? You can have a successful friendship throughout your industry. Look at me and Johnny. We've been in the industry for years. We worked for other companies and then worked with each other in the same company. It's a matter of, I think what the issue is here is whenever there's really large money involved, and Punk is saying, yeah, don't worry, I'll cover it for you. That's like Paul Heyman say he's going to pay his ECW guys. let's keep waiting.
Yeah.
But in the scenario here is, to be honest, Punk should have never made that promise. Even if he did or did not, he made that promise, and knowing that Cabana doesn't make that amount of money, Punk does. Punk should have paid him back and says, you know what? No, I will pay you. And then they took on the Juggernaut. Okay, they took on the most powerful Juggernaut in wrestling today. And they were hoping that they were going to make some money out of this. Are you crazy? So obviously, Colt Cabana wanted his money back because, again, he's not CM Punk. He's not making that money. He's not like, the other guys. CM Punk should have just paid him and just say, you know what, dude, I'm sorry we tried. Or in fact, never promised him that money. But that's why you're seeing right now, and this is all boils down to money, not a little bit of money. If $10, $20 here, you know, you can let slide. But we're talking about what, 500 to $1 million?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the kicker though. He's not just suing for that. He's also suing him for another million. It's $1.2 million what he's suing Punk for, and it's called punitive damages. And I kind of find it funny because Colt Cabana, I think I would put him on what you would put Jeff Jarrett level on, a guy who never drew a dime. He never did anything, and now he wants like $1 million because his character was damaged. He never had a character.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm gonna we go around the table with this. We'll go with Lance next. Again, you know, how are you gonna prove that in court? Are you gonna come out with a recording that says CM Punk says, "Yeah, you know what, Colt? I promise to pay you back." I'm sorry, promises don't mean squat unless it's in black and white paper that says, "I will pay you back for this money." If,
absolutely.
You know, if it's saying, hey, guess what? No, you know, what's going to happen here, sadly, and I don't care for either one, you know, but what's going to happen here is Colt Cabana is going to be out of money, and CM Punk's going to move on to something else. You know, he's already doing, what, a WWE movie. He's being, you know, the love of, you know, Cody and the Young Bucks and several other organizations. Hell, even Ring of Honor wants him. So, you know, he's not going to have any shortage of money. Unfortunately, Colt Cabana will never see the WWE because after this, after suing them, you're not going to get a welcoming hand in, especially who he is. And no other company's going to run
actually, it was
off.
WWE who, just to clarify, it was WWE who's suing them for slander.
Right. And we all know where that went out, so... bottom line is, you know, Colt Cabana is going to be in the corner with those signs that says "We'll wrestle for food."
Yeah, he'll be tagging up with Virgil.
Yeah, he'll have a son that says, "I'm sorry, Phil."
Go ahead, Lance.
Well, when you first brought up this CM Punk and Colt Cabana suing each other, first thing that popped in my head. Let's face it, these two guys are in the publicity business. Could this be a stunt?
That's a good point, Rick.
You know what? Honestly, no, because if you've like listened to CM Punk's like interviews or whatever, he really is a self-entitled person. Why these two had a falling out? You know, it could be because he called CM Punk up, like you're being an asshole, and CM Punk is just one of those type of people that just holds a grudge. Cabana, I guess he, like during one of the interviews, they asked if he was still friends. He was like, well, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, kinda.
So, yeah, exactly. He didn't want to say yes, and he didn't want to say no. But so basically, that means the Punk started talking to him. So I don't think this is a stunt.
Yeah, this is not a work.
No, not at all.
Let's go to you, Johnny. What do you think about all this? Yeah.
Deep thought. Deep insight.
Again, it's about money. Anything that has to do with money brings friends to enemies and stuff like that. You can't go up against a conglomerate like the World Wrestling Entertainment think you're going to win. Absolutely not. I think Colt Cabana had, listen, these guys got lawyers that they pay more for than we do for our homes. So I think he was smart enough and be like, let it go, and he wants his money back. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
He's going to
give
have
him his money
wait.
back.
Yeah. He's going to have a long wait, too.
Oh, yeah.
Zori hasn't put her notch into it.
Well, I mean, basically, here's the thing, real simple. Don't borrow money off of other people. If you need money that badly, go to a loan place. Don't borrow it off your friend, because they're going to come back at you.
Well, I agree with you in that aspect, but keep in mind, again, he wasn't even, Colt Cabana wasn't even going to, deal with it. And, Punk had pretty much said, hey, look, we could do this together. and I'll cover the fee. I'll cover the legal fees, and as Joe said, a promise is only good as the paper is written on.
Exactly.
If it's a word of mouth, forget about it.
I mean, the thing is anytime that somebody's offering to help you with money as far as that goes, you're taking a huge risk by saying, okay, well, let's tackle it together then. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, unfortunately, it's pretty sad when money splits, a friendship up, especially, I guess on that level. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of distress, but and CM Punk, he can throw 250 out his asshole like nothing. So I still think personally, although there's no confirmation, it's just my gut says there's something a little bit more to that story.
We will have to keep out for that. We'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to move on to one of our last topics. Is Aleister Black has been pulled from the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Triple Threat title match. According to reports, Aleister Black has been pulled from NXT due to a groin injury he suffered several weeks ago. However, WWE has yet to confirm this. I went to WWE.com today, and I looked at the rundown for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which is the Saturday before SummerSlam, and it's still booked. So, I don't know if this is somebody speculating, or it's just, somebody making shit up just to get some attention.
Well, Rick, they actually did the segment where Aleister Black was beaten up in the parking lot. Old school parking lot beatdown. And they say he was not going to continue. Maybe it's a way to draw extra heat. Maybe, who knows, it'll be the two top contenders going back and forth fighting. And then all of a sudden, bam, music, here comes Aleister Black. Coming looking like one of the guys from the Revolutionary War. With the bandage on his head, beating a drum. So, I don't know. I think maybe this is all just to build up anticipation. Or this could be a scenario where he's written off and he could make his debut on the main roster. We've seen them do it to Drew McIntyre and others, other talents. So maybe this is something like that.
And that's a strong possibility. Actually, that's something that's not even thought about. And like I said, it's with Aleister. It was the triple threat, and the main storyline was really between Johnny Gargano and Tommy. Thank you. And that's been a long feud. So adding Black into that mix, kind of diluted the feud, which hopefully would come to a head because it's a long-going feud. But again, even WWE.com might not have updated that, so you never know, guys. Johnny, over to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Lance, over to you.
Well, I saw somewhere where radio announced because of Aleister Black having the groin injury and, for what I understand, having to have surgery, it was going to be Gargano and Ciampa in a last man standing match for the NXT belt. Which, to me, I'd rather see a one-on-one for a belt than a triple threat, but that's because I don't really like triple threats.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, over to you. Aleister Black, he is hot shit. He was close to making or reports claim that he was on his way up to being called up to the main roster. If he is in fact injured and has surgery, that's gonna push. It's gonna push him back. He's gonna have to stay in NXT and get that heat again.
Well, not necessarily. Again, let's all forget this could be just a storyline where they're building this up just for that, just for the storyline. And again, we've seen it with Drew McIntyre when McIntyre got injured. And then next thing you know, bam, he's on the main roster all healed and ready to go. Again, this could be something that somebody, Vince, Triple H, Steph, whomever, say, hey, I want Aleister Black on our roster. And maybe this is something that they say, hey, you know what? Let's write him off NXT. Let the other guys move forward, and we'll we'll do this kayfabe injury. Then, a month before SummerSlam, excuse me, maybe before SummerSlam or after SummerSlam, he comes out on SmackDown or Raw as a new acquisition. And I think, what we're looking at, that could be it. When a guy is that hot, like Aleister Black, especially the man is very talented, and you look at him, you got to say, this guy deserves to be on the roster, the main roster. Let's pluck him out of there and put him here because he's going to generate more money. I think that's what we're looking at, and that's why we saw that he was taking out again, Memphis style, Lance, Memphis style with the parking lot attack. That's your cue, Lance.
Well,
that's your cue, Lance.
Lance.
That's your cue, Zoe.
I'll do it for him. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really watch NXT that much, guys. So, I mean, is it a legit injury, or are they selling it, or what?
That's the thing Rick has. I don't know. Rick.
Say again, Joe.
I said that will be something that you can maybe answer. Is it legit, or is it? I say kayfabe. Kayfabe.
Honestly, like I said, right now, I mean, I read about something as suffering a groin injury, but I don't know if it was confirmed. That's all that can be said about that issue. So it's again, it's one of those things that either it is or it isn't. But if you ask me, I would not be surprised if WWE announces it in the next week or so.
Yeah, and again, this could be just kayfabe just to get him on the main roster. You never know. I would like to see him on SmackDown because I think his talent will be much better used on SmackDown because that's where the real workers are, and not taking away anything from the other people on there, but WWE right now, Raw especially, is the big man's business, So I think aspects, I think they were probably going to throw him to take on AJ Styles or Samoa Joe, whoever becomes champion, because that's more of the wrestlers. If I had to define the companies, or should I say the brands, because they're still all in the same companies, Raw is the WWF of the 80s, because they got the big characters there, and SmackDown is the old NWA WCW days, where they got the true working talent. So I'm just going to say that, but we'll have to follow up on that story. You know what?
Guys, I hate to jump in, but my show's getting ready to start, so I'm going to have to say bye.
All right. You be careful out there.
First and foremost, tonight, this is Dark Sway tonight. Tonight, Carnage is taking the KZW tag team titles. And that she is leaving. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Take care. You know what? And again, that is KCW, Kentucky's Own Wrestling. You can see them on their page. Just do the hashtag KCW Wrestling or Kentucky's Own Wrestling. You can follow up what's going on there. We're at the end of our show since we lost Johnny, who had to go out to probably be in Uber, and it's down to us three, and Zoe had to go. So, you know what, Rick, in 2 weeks it is SummerSlam. We will be covering that.
That's next week, dude.
Oh, there you go. It's next week already. SummerSlam. So next week on Thursday night we will be back to our normal time. We will do our picks, and then we will see NXT's Takeover. We will do that, and then SummerSlam. So we're pretty much going to be busy this next week. Also, if you folks, you can follow us on the HWR chat room. That's on Facebook. So it's hashtag HWR chat room. You can check us out on HWR Show, which is both the YouTube and Facebook like page. That's where we will be doing some of our broadcasts. If it's not in the HWR group, it is over there. So check us out, and we will be live for these shows. Another thing, what we're going to do, and I'm going to pop this up because, cheap props, we have to do this. We are pushing our, notice I said pushing. We are pushing our t-shirts out. So if you folks are interested in looking the style of the HWR crew, we are definitely have some shirts for you. We have, first of all, the famous shirt, which is Lance.
Buy the shirt!
It is the BTS Buy the Shirt. And that is in the stunning NWO look. It says the actual Hardcore Wrestling Radio, our hashtags. So you can check it out. It is also the crossed guitars for Lance.
Lance Moss TV.
So you can check him out. And you can also get the Vicious Vixens t-shirt herself, Zoe Nightshade. So if you want to check that out. The Uber of Westchester, Johnny Perez. You can get his black and red, or you can get the black shirt and white letters. You can get mine, which is Scoldren's Realm with the podcasting skull right there. And finally, you can get the original classic HW1 logo with, again, the hashtags as well. And if anybody's interested, you can see the A to the F. Let us know. Send us a message either on Facebook or YouTube, or Rick can give you our Twitter as well, and you can join us. And if you want these t-shirts, let us know. We will send you the price. We're still working on the price, but for now, this is it. That is the shirts that we're coming up with. So buy the shirts, Lance. Tell them.
Buy the fucking shirt.
BFNS shirts. Okay.
BTFNS.
Yeah, there you go. That might be on next shirt. So, all right. Now, go ahead, Rick.
Actually, I wanted to clarify that it's SummerSlam is on August 19th, which is 1 week from this coming Sunday. Yeah. So next week, on Thursday, when we do our typical four-corner rants, we will be doing our picks and previews, and then it's going to be a busy weekend because we have Saturday where we're going to be doing coverage for it's NXT Brooklyn TakeOver, and then the big one, SummerSlam, guys. 6-hour show, so it's going to be a busy week next week, definitely from Thursday to Sunday.
God help us.
I know, right? George, George Axland, you can get me on Facebook, and I will give you the pricing for all shirts because George wants each of our shirts. So,
hey Joe, I'll bring him in here and we can talk about him right if we go off there, if that's cool.
We probably have to do it another time because I have to get some stuff done. But we can, and I have to get the actual pricing for each shirt because he wants each one. So fans, but if y'all all are interested, that is HWR T-shirts. And the proceeds go to basically each of our, how can I put it?
It goes into our pockets.
Yeah. It goes into our, funding. But no, in all seriousness, who knows? We're going to be doing a lot. There's going to be Comic-Cons coming up, and who knows if we want to go out there. We want to go hang out. Over in the HWR show on YouTube, George Murchison just says hi to everybody. Hello, Derek. How you doing? So with that, folks, we're going to be ending the podcast. So again, this Thursday, check us out. Four Corners Rants, picks and reviews, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So anybody interested in our shirts, check. Again, send us a message, send Rick a message or Lance, and we will get all the information to you, and we will get these shirts out as soon as possible to you. And it's our way of getting everybody together. And Rick, I would like to grab the funding and try to maybe one time get us all together to do a live broadcast somewhere, like in the middle ground. And, maybe do a live with everybody there at a Comic-Con or something. Because there is a Comic-Con coming to Erie, Pennsylvania. This in September. late September, and I'm going to be there as well, so I'll be broadcasting live. So maybe, who knows? We'll see what happens. But
yeah,
go ahead,
it would
Rick.
definitely have to be somewhere. I think for something like that, it would have to be maybe more towards. I'd say somewhere in between, like New York and down in Kentucky to Tennessee, so that way Lance and Kayla or Zoe can come on up, because that's I think even down all the way down there to get to New York or Jersey.
Oh, that'd be hell.
Yeah, that's a hike.
Yeah, we would have to find a middle state somewhere and declare.
If Joe had the guts to come back to Tennessee, I mean, Memphis does have quite a few Comic-Cons.
Well, we shall see.
Joe, I'll protect you from the hillbillies.
Good. You better get your guitars out, because we're going to need you swinging. But with that, folks, we're going to do our goodbyes for now. And again, check us out on our different pages. We're going to do this real quick. My tongue is tied. If you love the paranormal and you love shows from the UK, check out Andy, that son of a bitch, at www.stokehaunted.com. You heard her tonight, and she does a lot of wrestling shows, so check her out at KCW Wrestling Zoe Nightshade, and she could send you more information, autographed pictures, and so forth. Johnny Perez is the Uber of Westchester, you could find him on YouTube under that name, Uber of Westchester. He is also the IPTV guy, and you can check him out at gr8iptv@gmail.com. If you're interested in Stream or Roku boxes, he sells those. I am the Lord Scoldren of Gaming, and you can find me and just do the hashtag Scoldren's Realm, and that'll lead you to both to my Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels, where I do gaming reviews and gaming and gameplay, so you can check me out on those. Check me out on Twitter at Scoldren. Let's go to the incomparable one, Lance. Lance, besides buying the shirt, tell everybody where they can find you.
Buy the shirt! Anyway, you can also find me at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. This past Friday, I put up the 2-ingredient pizza crust, plus some spices that I've been told. Anyway, every Friday I put out a video, whether it be cooking video or guitar build video. And hit me up on Twitter. It's @LanceMossTV.
There you go. And finally, over to our CEO, Rick. Take it away.
Well, as you know, guys, our primary place is over in the group section of Facebook, and it's HWR chat room. Right now, we have HWR show. We've been having some problems over in our group section, where we usually traditionally do our live stream right there, so you can see it. So HWR chat room really is the place to go on Facebook, and hopefully, Joe, next week we will be live right there in the chat room. But if you're looking for a lot of tributes, some of our past interviews that we've had over on Hardcore Wrestling Radio, go over to YouTube under the name HWR Show.
Absolutely. And guys, again, thanks for you fans being part of our show. We really appreciate everything that you folks are doing. We love the support. I can't say enough about that. Check us on our additional pages. Like and support us there. And again, we will see you next week for our next Hardcore Wrestling Radio show. Then I'm going to say this. Keep checking our HWR group, because anything can happen. Anything comes out with news or on-the-spot emergency rumors or something like that. Check us out, because we always will be putting there. We always have news streaming in. So with that, I'm going to say this is Lord Scoldren himself, or Joseph Knight, because this is the wrestling side, saying good night and good evening. Lance?
Buy the shirt!
Yes, buy the shirt. All right, buy the shirt.